like, girl, you can.
This ain't nothing for the pack. Got 16 sitting in the lag. Whole squad all dressing all black. Every single last one of them got my back. Hey, 20 of us, that's 20 goons. And ice cream whip, triple scoop. I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on, I'm highly favored. Don't wanna blame me, no conversation, ain't got time for no debating. It's for the taking, no hesitation. Don't try my patience.
Well, Coach, this is playoff football in Chicago. The cold, the wind, the snow, and these Bear fans wouldn't have it any other way here inside historic Soldier Field. Coming up, an important divisional round matchup in the NFC between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. The first of 4 berths in the conference championships on the line here as divisional weekend in the NFL is underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
On first down, Dickerson. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game as he'll lose yardage to start things out. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Brings up second and 11 at the 26-yard line.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a second and 11. From the gun, Jackson. And he'll find Hall. That catch good for 5. It's third down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
They'll run on first down. Dickerson. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it second and 9.
Cameron Wake makes plays like that look simple because I think he plays with excellent leverage. Really does a nice job of being lower than the offensive guys trying to block him and gets underneath them and goes up and down the line of scrimmage to make those types of plays.
And kept him to a short run play there. On second and 9, Jackson. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up third.
Well, the defensive guys won't be real happy because there won't be a sack on this play because he did get back to the line of scrimmage. But what a job they did overall. Hemmed him in and gave him nowhere to go with the football.
On third down, Jackson. They got him in. It's Woods. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 38-yard line.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? Looking to throw on second down. Jackson. And a quick throw here. That's complete. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. And a good sign for them right now to have their young quarterback looking confident on the opening drive.
Now, we haven't met a young quarterback, a veteran quarterback. It doesn't matter. We haven't met a quarterback yet that doesn't tell us he's confident about his abilities, right?
That's true.
But when you're young, it's really important to get off to a good start because it does build up that confidence.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And here the pressure from the outside linebacking spot.
And normally when that happens and they're able to get home, that means the other guys on his team helped him out a lot. That they occupied people to allow it to be no less than a one-on-one situation, allows him to get home.
The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Check 59. Mike is 59. Mike to 59. Here we go. Check 3. Double. Switch.
Now Tomlinson on 1st and 10. And he works free. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. Touchdown, Chicago. A great effort there. An 80-yard touchdown as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, we knew they had the crowd on their side. Their defense has already made a stop, and now here's an opening drive touchdown.
Yeah, how about the defense making the stop, offense feeling their momentum that they've generated, and turning it into points on their side. So now you've got a team working together, and you got the crowd involved fully on their side in this ballgame.
And in this playoff atmosphere, that 12th man means even more. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They trail here early in this division round game as they seek a spot in the NFC title bout. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. From the gun, it's Jackson. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the second time. With it is Jackson. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Bears take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball, but how about them just taking it big-time jaunt. Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10.
Check 13.
What's up? 59, what's up? 59, what's up?
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
On 2nd and goal, Roethlisberger. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. A 9-yard touchdown grab as the Bears push further out in front. And this is no good. Missed the PAT, so they fail to connect, and this remains a 13-0 game. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Jackson from the shotgun. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down. Throwing now, Jackson on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
It's been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Throwing on 2nd and long. Jackson flushed out right, and that is incomplete here. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
There's Jackson on 3rd and long. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. 13-0 is the score after 1 on EA Sports. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
On first down, Tomlinson. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
You're not ready. You're not ready. 59's Mike. 50. World. Check 59. Quarter. All day, defense. All day. All day.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Roethlisberger. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. He's got it with the 15. A huge play there for Chicago. 52 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Rush in. Snickers. 66. Hey. Watch twins.
They'll run on first down. Tomlinson. And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2.
At the 16-yard line.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11.
He's checking. 6-6. Pull it high. 77. Hey, seam 6.
Now Roethlisberger. And it's caught. His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a first down as well. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Take both of them.
Tomlinson. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
And this is not going to do it as he's stopped at the 2-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Can this Vikings D hold up one more time? 3rd and goal.
44. Mike's 59. Mike's 59. That's what I do. Mike.
From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. A 2-yard touchdown grab as the Bears push further out in front. Now the extra point. And again, it's no good. A few boo birds coming out as he's missed his 2nd extra point here in the first half. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. That'll be taken in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line.
At their own 16-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level has
Jackson hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Jackson now. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Now a give, right side. Dickerson. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Well, they don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll roll him out right. They'll try and run it. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first. Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful and a big loss here as he's taken down. Cameron Wake able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Here's Jackson. Eluding the pressure right. Now he'll pull it down. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. From the gun, Jackson. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. They'll indeed go for it with Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A surprising move to go for it, predictably, at least somewhat predictably. It doesn't pay off, and the Bears are going to get the football back, and they're going to get it in great field position. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Easy.
On 1st down, Tomlinson. And down inside the 15 he goes. 18 yards on that one, and Chicago has the first.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
These two. Hey, echo. 59 mark. Snickers.
They'll throw on 1st down with Roethlisberger. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. From 13 yards out as the Bears push further out in front. That was quite the call down around the goal line on 4th and goal.
Yeah, they fake the run, pull it out, throw it. And as a defense, I've been in that spot before, and we see it all the time. You almost have to overcommit against the run. You have to almost sell out and say, they're going to run it, go make a play. They got fooled on that one.
You always worry about the plant foot in the snow, but no problems there. And the route is on here in this first half. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah.
Under pressure, they got him again.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
To try again after the sack, Jackson. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. He's going to let this one go deep. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play.
Accelerating, and off he goes. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done? Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right after a turnover, you count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
Yeah, you said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone. Point after, up and good. And that will take us to the end of the first half of play. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC Divisional Round matchup. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, a trip to the NFC title game hanging in the balance. Second half action back underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
51's Mike. Mike 51. Alert.
Roethlisberger will throw. And he's got the hook up to Macklin. 2 catches now in this divisional round matchup. That one, a first down. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary. And I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket. Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Wide, get wide. Slam. Snickers. Jim.
Watch the safety creep.
SOS. Focus. SOS.
Back to the ground, this time with Tomlinson. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down for the Bears. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Here's Roethlisberger. He'll get it in the hands of Clark, complete. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Check out.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
Definitely too early to panic, but that is his 4th carry of the game, and collectively has in total 10 yards. So maybe there's no panic, but maybe some concern.
Yeah, and maybe a little concern up front because they're not giving him any space right now. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
They'll run on first down. Tomlinson, he'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Now Roethlisberger to throw. It's caught by Jackson. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 14. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets, because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Only 3 there on the screen at 2nd down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now Roethlisberger. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down.
Let's go, D. Tighten up.
Jack 16.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Here's Johnny Hacker now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Just a 25-yard punt, not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
It'll be a 3-yard gain.
57's the mic. Watch 57. Let's go, D. Go, go.
57's the mic. 57's the mic.
I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming.
No, 57's the mic.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. In the wild card game last week, he had 4 catches, and now he has his 4th catch here. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his. Credit the secondary and credit the defensive game plan. They've been in his hip pocket all game long. They understood coming in that he was a big-time receiver.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Jackson. Flush to his right. And now he's going to use his legs. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd. The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. Off the play fake, here's Jackson on the move to his left. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. 4 yards there as they let him out of the pocket, and he got enough for the first. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. 1 quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Jackson on 1st down. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Past the 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. 49 yards. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. Point after, right down the middle. And that will shave 1 more off this lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. This ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is. I'm glad that you went in that direction, because otherwise we're going to have to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
Which was also impressive.
Which was also very impressive. But this game, how they've done it, offense, defense, special teams, they put it all together. And I got to tell you, I'm beyond impressed by what I've seen from this team.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now it's Tomlinson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That's going to be their 2nd. They'll be left with 1 more plus the 2-minute warning, and we'll be back.
Check tight end, check tight. Check tight.
Here's Roethlisberger. To the right side, and he's got Macklin. Complete. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? On first down, George. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
At the 49-yard line.
180. Mike 51. You don't want none of that. Get it. Pick up the ball.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he will find his man on the outside. That'll put him north of 100 yards receiving now in this divisional round game. And it's a first down.
First and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Kill.
Hey, check 20.
Middle.
They'll run on first down. Tomlinson. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5.
Check 9.
Bang, bang.
Again, it's Tomlinson. And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
They'll look for the first with Tomlinson. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. Give him 6 yards in the first down.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Scampering home from 19 yards out as his guys continue to pour it on.
So, my man, another touchdown. They're looking like the #1 seed that they earned throughout the year. Looking pretty dominant right now.
We knew the road to the Super Bowl would run right through this stadium. Somebody's going to have to come in here and beat these guys. Good luck. I don't think it's happening this weekend.
No, definitely not this weekend. And for anyone else out there, bring your game.
Buyer beware. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking, you don't go away from what you did before because that works. Because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A huge play there on the screen pass. 75 yards. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
Every team we ever talk to that continues to run the ball in a game, even when they haven't had much success, all talks about attrition, don't they? If you keep running it, eventually good things are likely to happen. It's been a hard go in this game today, hasn't it?
Yeah, this defense, they met pretty much every challenge in front of them this afternoon.
They're still trying to run the ball, but they're not finding much space.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. This Bears defense trying to hold on. This is 3rd and goal. Escaping the pressure right. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. Lamar Jackson, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. No problem there on the extra point, and that will get them one closer. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And the Bears hands team able to pounce on it and get the football. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
On first down, Tomlinson. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
Tomlinson again, a first down carry. And he's not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now there's also a flag down, and it's in the area of holding.
Let's go.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Here we go. Deuce. Snickers, now spin.
Here's Roethlisberger to throw. He's going to rifle one deep. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
A nice job of eluding the pressure there, scrambling for 11.
Partner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage on 2nd down.
And he's going to be about a yard or 2 short of the first here. He needed the 35, but didn't make it. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down. Here's Jackson to throw. Buying time to his left. He can run for it, and he will. Turns out to be a great idea to tuck that one. Good for 24 yards.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Forced out to his left. to the end zone, but it's incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And they get the football, but not much on the return here as he stopped at the 7-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
So they stay alive in the NFL playoffs, move on to the conference championship. And do you think that the printing press is starting to get those T-shirts and hats ready, my friend?
They have to, Brandon. They have to be ready because if you win, you've got to hand those out on the field right away. And just think about the pressure for the players now. Families are going to be talking about tickets to the Super Bowl even before you play the conference championship game.
So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Bears get the win at home as we say so long from Soldier Field.